the word challenge for me means different. Challenge for me is opportunity to improve, opportunity to look around and find a better way of doing things. That's challenge. Now, if I want to start feeling miserable because of a challenge, I missed the opportunity the challenge has provided me. So I just dismissed all the negative side as, okay, let's look at this. What does it mean? How can I deal with it? And how good it is that I'm being challenged. And right now, as you know, well, I'm going through cancer stage 4 challenge. And I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as a gift from Baha'u'llah. And I mean that.
I enough declare the my word the eno is it me. Baby, who fight give me a body and hope in the world of full of the he and and more. It my honor the Farvardin Daliri my mom had never met you, but she always all about you in that you made for my gay father, not a Munje.
Yes, yes. A close friend of mine when I was in India. Actually, he saved my life. Yeah, yeah.
About your hello.
My passion. Yeah, I have got passion in many different fields. My most cherished passion is passion for peace, and other than that is my paintings and my art, and then my family and my friends. So, but the world peace is my main what do you call that, desire, the passion to work for it, and I've worked some long time for it. So it's sad to see that these days some governments try to send missiles and troops everywhere that they want, but at the end of the day, I think there's a bigger force in action which is coming from the universe, and world peace is inevitably happening sooner or later. And yeah, if anything at all I regret is that it may not happen in my lifetime, but I hope that you guys will see the world peace, how world can live in harmony. And India has been leading along the same lines, and I'm very proud of India.
It been in me visual and they more on people.
It, yeah, it is right to say that. When I paint from the other dimensions. I don't paint from this world. So this world is beautiful, and I get inspired by the plants, by the flowers, by animals, by the mountains, rivers. But at the end of the day, when I do my abstract, I'm thinking what is behind all of this beauty. And what is behind them is a creative force of the universe. It is unfathomable, incomprehensible force which runs the whole universe. And that's where all this beauty and the nature's grandeur comes from. So I want to connect beyond what comes to the eyes, and that is where I get into the abstract works that some people do understand, a lot of people don't. But whatever they are, my work inspires some spiritual, dimensions for people to think more than material, more than the objects. So I hope that if I can achieve that much, then I can do more.
Or is the work are high in your body pain.
Thank you.
You are in order in a gay
Yeah. I do a sculpt, and I make. I have made a lot of large sculptures. But when I was in India, in Lucknow, I did the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. I did the statue of Nehru. I did the paint portrait, a standing portrait of Indira Gandhi, and I did a lot of 3D works in India before I left. So my skills were developed in the Lucknow School of Art, and I'm still connected with the students of that time. It was about 76 onward, 76 to 83. I was at the Lucknow Art College, and then after that, I started my own studio in Lucknow. In my studio in Ramsagar, Mishranagar, I did paintings, I did screen printing, sculptures, clay modeling, everything. I've got 3-4 people working with me. It was a wonderful time in Lucknow. I always remember that.
We all be having your favorite.
It's hard to say, Anand. Very hard to say. Like, ask a father, which child you love most. It's hard to say. I create something, and then good or bad, whatever it is, it's a signature or a footstep or footprint of me in this universe. So hard to say that, really. But I like more than anything else my abstracts, because they talk to the soul. They talk to the human soul. But other than that, all my art for me, they're dear.
On your I see some in
Yes.
would you be the how you to
Yeah. I can explain a little bit, but not easy to comprehend, because when I start working on a piece of art, for me, that's a zone that I'm totally in the present time. Particularly with the sculptures, I start working hard under the sun and the rain with the welding and the steel and all sort of dramas high up in the ladder. But truly, I don't understand. I don't feel the passage of time. And as long as I'm working. All of a sudden, I stop, see that past 1 o'clock in the midday, and I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. I haven't drunk. So I basically come off the workshop and try to get something. Otherwise, I don't really register the passage of time when I'm in the middle of my sculpture or my painting. So that's one way of describing how do I work. I don't know, because when I work, I don't know anything about outside world other than what I'm supposed to do on the piece of artwork. And when it comes to a sculpture, it's very pleasant for me. It is best thing to do, and it is something that is a therapeutic. It's something that gives me energy. I don't feel anything other than what I'm doing with my hands and with the clay or the steel. But when it comes to painting, I'll have to step back. Painting is completely different from sculpting, because painting is 2D, sculpture is 3D. Sculpture is much easier than painting, because you know the 3Ds, you organize the 3Ds, you get it. But when you want to transform a 2D, two-dimensional canvas in a three-dimensional space, and even to go to the fourth dimension, you're talking about a challenge. But I sit back, I meditate, I reapproach, and eventually I get it. Sometimes a work of art is finished in 2 hours, sometimes in 2 months. It all depends.
What is the meaning of metal? Because the root is in
The message behind this, it is a very sad story. I don't know how much time you have. The story happened in Kandahar in Afghanistan, when a child was waiting by the door of the hospital, a minor child, about 4 or 5 years old, was sitting on the hospital steps, and the father of this child was brought in by one of my friends who was he was in army, Australian army, working there, but also was involved in demining, meaning that taking the landmines out. As it happened, he found that the father of this kid was blasted over the landmine, low legs gone, and half dead. The dad was brought into the hospital bleeding, and this child was following him from the farm where he was working to the hospital, and nobody took notice of him. But my friend Joe O'Hanlon found out about him and tried to do something for him. He sat there 3 days in a row, and this is the picture of the last day when I have created a world which is crumbling for him. And his dad was dead and came out of the hospital. And after that, my friend couldn't find him, and he disappeared. So this gives also a snapshot of what actually happens in the war zones. People don't become child soldiers or warriors. People are innocent human beings when they are tormented like that. When he sits by the hospital door for 3 days, nobody even gave him a glass of water. And then he disappeared when he saw his father is dead. Then these are the people that are casualties of our society. Unless we look after everybody, we can't have a world peace. And these people are the first to look after in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Syria, in Libya, in Iran. There are so many people in tragedy that we really need to look up and see what we can do for them. And this painting is a very large painting, was the least I could do to put an exhibition to raise awareness about what the landmines are doing to people. And then it was a fundraiser, and that's all I could do. But I'm not proud of how much I did. I think we humans owe a lot to each other. but we don't fulfill it till it is too late.
Do you use for your painting?
Not really, no. Computers. No, I just started sculpture, which is 4 meters high. I started right in the middle and finish it all with the right anatomy. I don't go to computer. Same with the paintings. I don't need computers for my paintings. This is enough computer here.
Yeah.
I'm an old school guy, you know. When no computer existed, I used to sell paintings to get food and books. I'm talking about, you know, late 1960s and early 70s. So, you know, computer didn't mean anything those days. I had to do it, and I did it, and I'm still doing the same thing. Some of the technology helps, good lighting, you know, good social media, and some of it helps, but sometimes we can research a subject, and that's very helpful. But visually, I got to do it. I got to do what I got to do.
I saw you were here in the New York in
Yeah, that's correct.
How about the film like this?
Yeah, it's good for me, you know, an artist who has worked whole life in different countries and has never been a rich guy or well known, but known to my friends. And I always painted for some reason. I never painted to become a famous artist. So I did a giant Kookaburra sculpture, which was mounted on wheels and was being towed with my car, and laughing Kookaburra, because I don't know if you guys know about Kookaburra. It's a laughing bird. It laughs like humans, and that's the only voice Kookaburra has in Australia. And it has a very good omen for indigenous people of Australia. Has a lot of good stories. And earlier in this country, when people came from Europe to take over, they were scared of this laughing bird. They didn't know what it means in the bush. Who is laughing at them? Why the bird is laughing? And then eventually they got used to it, and they are now celebrating it as Australian icon. So I made this sculpture with the moving beak and singing out with its loud sound system. While the pandemic, coronavirus and everything, all the drama was on, people were really distressed and sad because of what was happening. Then I took this around from town to town. Everybody came, thousands of people, they were enjoying. And so the media picked it up very quickly, and it went from local media to national, from national to international. And I felt a bit humbled, and I said, okay, you know, that's good. I've worked for a whole life, so one piece of work they celebrate. That's all right.
Everyone has had would you like to how you did in your life?
Hey, Anand, I don't see anything as a challenge. See, when something happens, I see it as a story, as an event. So the word challenge for me means different. Challenge for me is opportunity to improve, opportunity to look around and find a better way of doing things. That's challenge. Now, if I want to start feeling miserable because of a challenge, I missed the opportunity the challenge has provided me. So I just dismissed all the negative side as, okay, let's look at this. what does it mean? How can I deal with it? And how good it is that I'm being challenged. And right now, as you know, well, I'm going through cancer stage 4 challenge. And I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as a gift from Baha'u'llah. And I mean that. And a lot of my physicians, they ask me, aren't you depressed? Even when I was coming back from the hospital after chemotherapy, they gave me a box of medicine, which included antipsychotic and schizophrenic and anti-suicide tablets, very strong. I'm saying, why do they give me these tablets? They think I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to die anyway with the cancer. I'm crazy to kill myself. You know, I'm led to see what cancer can do to me instead of killing myself. But their idea is that anybody who is confronted with the life-threatening situation and a dead end like this one, they think that they'll commit suicide, they'll go depressed. Yeah, for me, even this is a gift from Baha'u'llah, and this gift is for me to look at life, look at the afterlife, and enjoy whatever is left out of my life, and then realign myself with my spiritual goals. Because in life we tend to get away from our main pathway as Baha'is. I'm a believer of the Baha'i faith and Baha'u'llah. But unfortunately, often we sidetrack, and our profession and our economics and finances becomes a real burden. So when you face this type of situations or with this type of gifts, you sit back, say, okay, I don't want to do that, I'll do this. So when you said that you want to interview, I said, why not? Every night by this time, I would have been to my bed after my last tablets or my last medication. I thought, no, I'll give it a go. It's good to talk to Anand. And as you know, your dad is a close friend of mine, Baba. Arun used to call him Baba, and we all called him Baba, and he didn't mind that. So it's all fun. People come to see me, you look very good, you seem very happy, you got a lot of energy. Yeah, of course I have. Because I didn't waste my energy thinking of all those bad things.